CPM PB അംഗം പ്രകാശ് കാരാട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് വാർത്താ സമ്മേളനം നടത്തുകയാണ് തത്സമയം.
First of all, I'd like to pay homage to Kavalam Narayana Padikkar, who died yesterday, who was an eminent playwright and artist. I'd also like to pay tribute to G. Jayachandran Nayak, who was the CRPF sub-inspector who was killed in the extremist attack in Kashmir. Our party has strongly condemned this attack, which has resulted in the killing of more than 9 or 10 CRPF jawans. I have been attending the state committee meeting of the party in Kerala the last 2 days, and a central committee meeting was held also recently, and that connection I would like to state some of the positions we have taken. Firstly, the Modi government, the central government, has announced across the board liberalization of the FDI norms, foreign direct investment norms in defense production, 100% FDI, 100% FDI in civil aviation, 74% FDI in existing pharmaceutical enterprises in India, and 100% FDI in food retailing, that is retail trade in food items. According to us, these policies are going to be very harmful for the country and the people. I would like to just draw attention to two of these FDI decisions. As far as pharmaceuticals are concerned, already there is 100% FDI for greenfield projects, that is new enterprises. But now they have said 74% foreign shares or control can be there in existing pharmaceutical companies. The result of this policy will be, already in the last few years, foreign multinational drug companies are buying up Indian pharmaceutical companies. Companies like Ranbaxy are no more Indian, they've been taken over. India has a big pharmaceutical industry. We are the biggest producer of generic drugs, which enables people in India to get medicines and drugs at cheaper prices. And this is also exported. India exports generic drugs to Africa and third world countries. The moment multinational companies take over your companies, then you will only get the patented medicine, which is much more expensive. So you are allowing foreign pharmaceutical companies to take over existing Indian companies. They have a lot of financial and money power. So many Indian companies will now be taken over, and the result of that will be they will only allow their patented medicines, and they will be 3 or 4 times more expensive than the drugs that are available produced by the Indian companies. This will be very harmful for our people. The second instance is the decision now to allow food retail trade 100% FDI. That means all food items which are produced in India foreign companies can now come and set up shops, retail shops, or do e-commerce, online trading. Already Walmart and Amazon have said we will enter now the food retail trade in India. And as you know, the Walmart is the biggest global retail chain company. And Amazon is the biggest e-commerce company in the world. So all our food and grocery shops will find eventually they will be out of business, affecting the livelihood of lakhs and lakhs of small shopkeepers and traders. And this is being done by the Modi government, and the BJP, when they were in the opposition, had strongly opposed opening up of FDI in retail trade. You will recall, they had strongly opposed the Manmohan Singh government's decision to go for FDI in retail trade. But now they are picking up such a item, food, which if all these big multinational companies are allowed to enter, it will destroy the livelihood of lakhs of our shopkeepers and traders. So that is why our party has very strongly opposed the recent liberalization of the foreign direct investment. The other issue I'd like to speak about, recently you saw the Modi government making frantic efforts to get membership of the nuclear suppliers group. And you saw the Prime Minister going around the world meeting leaders of various countries to elicit support for membership of the nuclear suppliers group. And we have failed to get that membership. In the plenary session of the nuclear suppliers group held in Seoul just 3 days ago. This is not surprising, because this was a pursuit, membership of NSG, which was totally unnecessary. Already in 2008, the Manmohan Singh government had, after getting an agreement with America on the US-India Nuclear Civil Cooperation Agreement, managed to get a waiver from the NSG. NSG deals with nuclear commerce and trade. So India, despite not being a member of the NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, has got an exemption to buy some nuclear technology. After getting that, what is the big gain that you are getting to become a member of the nuclear suppliers group, except that America promised we will make you members. And we have become completely allied to the United States of America. And we thought that becoming an ally of the US will give us some automatic membership of the nuclear suppliers group. As you must be knowing, at least 10 countries did not agree out of the 48 countries to India's membership. Of course, this government is trying to say it's China, only one country has stopped it, but it's not correct. Even our own partners in the BRICS, Brazil, South Africa, China, these are part of the BRICS grouping. 3 of them have not supported our stand. And this is not unexpected, because many of these countries have themselves given up nuclear weapons. Brazil and South Africa are countries which had nuclear capability. They decided not to proceed, and now they don't want any country which is not part of the NPT to join. That is their policy stand. So why we had to go into this? Why the Modi government, placing all its faith in the United States of America, thinking that once Americans promise you something, we will get it. We have expended all our goodwill and political capital to achieve something which was totally, nothing substantial would have been achieved. This has been a big diplomatic setback for India in recent times. And we would like the Modi government to have a more reasonable foreign policy, not line up with the United States of America and fall in line with their strategy to contain China. That sort of approach is not helping our country's independent foreign policy. After 2 years of the Modi government, two issues are now of immediate concern for the people. One is price rise. The cost of food items, whether it is vegetables, dal, edible oil, sugar, all the prices of food items have risen sharply in the recent period. And the food inflation rate is also nearing more than 7.5% now. So the government's approach has also contributed to this price rise and inflation. As you all know, world prices of, international price of oil have fallen by 60%. Instead of passing on that reduction in oil price to the consumers, the government has 8 times increased excise duties, siphoning off this fall in prices. And therefore, if you had reduced the price of petrol, diesel and petroleum products, that would have acted as a dampener on inflation. But you have not reduced prices of petrol and diesel, which is also one of the factors which have contributed to the price rise. The other is employment. This is the government which came with a slogan, more development and therefore more jobs and employment will be provided. And the last 2 years record is actually employment generation is declining. Enough evidence is there now that not enough new jobs are being produced. Every year 1 crore 30 lakh young people are entering the job market every year. But the new jobs being created are only running into a few lakhs. So on both these issues, our party has decided that we should conduct a week-long countrywide campaign against price rise and against unemployment, with the demand that you reduce the price of diesel and petrol by withdrawing these excise duties, ensure that this effective public distribution system take measures against hoarding and speculation in commodities, in the commodities market and so on. Similarly, for employment, the ban on recruitment in government jobs, both at the center and most of the state governments, should be lifted, because the pay commission, 7th pay commission has said 7.47 lakh vacancies are there in all the central government departments, but they're not being filled up. So various demands connected with employment. These two issues will be taken up, and between the 11th to the 17th of July, we will conduct this campaign. Our Central Committee had also discussed the situation in West Bengal, where there's a big attack on the CPIM and the left front after the assembly elections. And thousands of our party supporters and cadres, houses have been attacked. Our party offices and trade union offices have been captured or destroyed, and money is being extorted from our people in the villages. If they want to stay in the village, they have to pay fines. So an attempt is being made to eliminate our party and the left front. So the first week of August, in the entire country, we shall conduct a campaign against this violence and terror tactics indulged in by the Trinamool Congress in West Bengal and express solidarity with the CPIM and the left front workers and cadres there. This will be conducted in the first week of July. As far as West Bengal elections are concerned, our Central Committee discussed the matter and came to the conclusion that the electoral tactics pursued in West Bengal of having an understanding with the Congress party was not in conformity with our party Congress tactical line and our Central Committee's decision also about electoral tactics. So we have said that this should be rectified. There can be no alliance or understanding with the Congress party in West Bengal in the coming days, and this will be now implemented in West Bengal by our party. So these are some of the decisions we took in the Central Committee just a few days ago. I think I'll stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
With regards to the 100% FDI
Defense.
logic given by the BJP that we come under the Make in India program and hence more jobs will be created. What do you say on that?
Yeah, I did not touch upon the defense production because we have just given a very detailed statement on that. But you see, this is basically a flawed idea. The defense equipment that we want, our country requires, which we are now buying, paying a very high cost, very expensive import of defense equipment. The government says it's order to become less dependent on these costly imports that we want to have FDI here so that we can produce defense items here, and that will also create jobs, etc. But one thing they are not taking into account is none of the big foreign arms manufacturers would like to impart their technology to India. They control the technology. It is the technology which is for them valuable. It is not the money, not the funds which are invested. So unless they are willing to part with the technology, you will not get any advanced or high technology defense equipment produced in India. We had actually liberalized FDI in defense earlier from 26% to 49%. At that time also nothing came. Now they say we'll allow 100% also. But nobody is going to come because they don't want to give you your technology. So defense production for our country, we should develop our own indigenous capacity. Make in India in defense production. Why is it not possible? You have ISRO here, you have space technology. Our country has produced advanced space technology. We are now sending out satellites for other countries. We have nuclear technology, indigenous. So what we say is, you must be able to develop your own science and technology for defense. We are capable of it. If we can do it in space and nuclear technology, we should be able to do it here. Reliance on FDI is not going to solve this problem. So far, very little FDI has come in the defense sector. And they will not come because they won't want to give you the technology. That is the monopoly they control. So I don't think it will be very successful.
So you were mentioning about the excise duty, hiking excise duty on petroleum oil products.
Yes.
Now that your government is here, you ask your government to give it back to the people. There's an element of excise duty that the state collects. So will you ask your government?
You see, the main duties which have been increased in this 1.5 year period has been by the central government. Earlier, at one time, a few years ago, we had also decided when our government was there to control or regulate and reduce the sales tax or excise duties on petroleum products at that time. But we said this has to be reciprocated by the central government, which levies most of the duties. This time, what I am saying is 60% reduction in the oil prices took place. You are importing 80% of your oil. You had a big fall in that. You have neutralized that fall by increasing excise duty again and again. We are saying you don't do that now. So what you have already added, the burden, I don't have the calculation here, whether it is 20 rupees or 30 rupees you have added now per litre through excise duties, you roll that back, immediately the price of petrol and diesel will come. If such a step is taken by the central government, we can also see in the state government whether we can also take such steps. But central government must take the initiative because they have added these excise duty increases in the recent period.
Problem regarding the West Bengal election, you said that the West Bengal party took a position which was not in consonance with the party Congress as well as the government.
Yeah.
But before the elections, even after the prenup, there was no clarity because only one call was given that there should be broader unity of the democratic forces. And if we recollect, during all the press conferences, there were repeated questions whether in this broader framework of democratic forces, does the Congress also be a part? But that was not clarified at that time. So does that mean that there was a lack of clarity before the elections also? And one more thing, after the elections, now as you said, that your party is under attack, people are being killed, they're not even being able to do their political activities. So do you think that Congress, which is the biggest party, second biggest party in the assembly now, is there any possibility of any fight against TMC's repression joining hands with the Congress?
The Central Committee decision in February was very clear. It was, first, there can be no understanding or alliance with the Congress. Second, to fight the Trinamool Congress and to oust it from power, we should seek the cooperation of all democratic forces, so, which you are referring to. So, without the first point, the second point does not make sense, because what we meant obviously was rally all the other non-Congress secular parties. We did that also. We had some understanding with the smaller parties, JDU, RJD, NCP, all that in Bengal. So, this was a decision in the Central Committee. There was no ambiguity. Of course, it may not have been publicly expressed at that time because... No, it was decision. It was not publicly expressed because our party had to rally all these other forces. We didn't want other forces to rally with the Trinamool Congress. So, but in our party there was no confusion or ambiguity about that. As far as the present situation is concerned, when there are such widespread attacks against our party in particular, but they are attacking also all other opposition parties in some places, we have said anybody who has come together to resist this, we will go along with them. This is not any political alliance or understanding. Whether it's the Congress or any other force which is willing to stand together with us to fight against this violence and resistance, that can go on. We have made it very clear in our CC statement after the recent meeting that that is nothing to be confused with having an electoral alliance or a political understanding.
But why is the Congress still untouchable? Because on the one side, the RSS BJP is surging and all the democratic, things are being started.
Well, that is our part.
But do you think that there is the possibility of a rethink in the latest?
No, our party Congress had discussed all these matters. Modi government was there in power for 1 year when our party Congress is held. The situation in Trinamool Congress attacks were there for 4 years when our party Congress is held. Taking everything into account, we have not said make the Congress our main target of attack in Bengal. Nobody is saying that. We said fight against Trinamool Congress, but our political line is we don't ally with the Congress party, which in terms of its class character, We have made a characterization of the Congress party. We have not called it a democratic party in any of our party resolutions.
Was it a unanimous decision in CC?
Eh?
Was it a unanimous decision in CC to be in alliance with the Congress?
No, our decision is not to. And now we are talking about the future. That past is over. We said that was not in conformity with our understanding. In future, there should be no alliance or understanding with the Congress.
But finally, your party has come to the conclusion that electoral alliance with the Congress was a wrong decision. Comrade Jagmadi also stated the same, but she was expelled. Why?
Because she left, she resigned publicly from the party, membership of the party. And she had every right to express her views. She had expressed her views. The Central Committee took a decision on the basis of all that discussion. We said it was not, as you said, this is not a correct stand. But she was not satisfied with that. She wanted some more action on that. No, every individual has a right to express their views. But then, unfortunately, she went out and announced her resignation from the party and the Central Committee and the party membership.
Only Jagmadi opposed.
Only she has resigned.
The question is only she opposed.
Well, she opposed what?
Your decision.
No?
The very
I think the Malayalam media gave quite correct figures about how many people supported the CC decision. It was overwhelming support. The numbers were given, I saw in some of the newspapers. I think the figures were quite accurate. Overwhelming support in the Central Committee for the decision that West Bengal line was not in consonance with the CC decision and they should stop, rectify and not proceed with that. That is the decision. It's a political question.
Sir, a large section of people in Kerala still not got an answer. The question was put to your state secretary, to the party general secretary. Why was Achuthanandan not considered to the chief minister's post?
You're asking that now? Rather belated question.
We have not got an answer from the
Well, I think the General Secretary held a press conference here and made it very clear.
No, he will not make it.
Well, I understood what he said, I heard it. He said that given his age and his health present limitations, we have not considered his position. He will play a role of a guide, mentor, advisor, etc. That's what he said. When he mentioned Fidel Castro, that's everybody understood what it meant.
But just a month ago, before the elections, he was the one who addressed the maximum rallies, and he was the biggest crowd puller for the party.
Yeah.
And that time his health was perfect.
No.
So what happened after that?
Election campaign is one thing, running a government and administration is another thing. Everybody has that problem. All of us get old. I am also getting old now. There are certain things which I cannot do now, which I could have done maybe 10 years ago. Our party had an assessment about that.
But do you agree that he should be...
And that assessment was made without any...
But comrade, do you agree that he should be given an honorable post or position? Because right now he has become almost a non-entity and it is a
No,
non-entity.
in our party nobody... whatever is required to be done in that regard will be done. As far as our party is concerned, we have taken a decision that will be translated. The cabinet will take appropriate decision also.
Do you think
Right.
that PSC is happy?
But you think the application of all this decorative lighting, ceremonial lighting?
Well, obviously when something is decided, it is in consultation or in agreement with that person. We can't take a unilateral decision. I said appropriate. I said what is required is being done.
One last thing, when is the political rectification process going to begin along with the West Bengal State Committee?
No, we have
you planned the time
it's not a
frame?
rectification. We have had a party plenum on organization. We have taken decision to do a number of things that involves the party, Politburo, Central Committee, State Committee. Now because of these elections, we had to postpone taking up that. Now you will see from our next Central Committee meeting, we will be taking up these issues. Thank you.
പ്രകാശ് കാരാട്ട് മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുകയായിരുന്നു. അമേരിക്കയുടെ സഖ്യകക്ഷിയായി ഇന്ത്യ പൂർണ്ണമായി മാറിക്കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്ത്യ നേരിട്ടത് നയതന്ത്ര തിരിച്ചടിയാണെന്നും പ്രകാശ് കാരാട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു. തൊഴിലില്ലായ്മയ്ക്കെതിരെയും വിലക്കയറ്റത്തിനെതിരെയും ദേശീയ തലത്തിൽ നിന്ന് പ്രക്ഷോഭം സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുമെന്നും പ്രകാശ് കാരാട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു.